Kia ora whanau, podcast number 4, Mine the High Vis. I come straight from a barbecue that we were shouting one of our clients out there. So the whanau came straight from there, straight here to record this podcast for you all. Today we talk about Hauora and Mahi. We've got two really experienced kai-mahi that both prioritise their Hauora in life and also their mahi as well. And they've been able to do that in line, in parallel, without any hiccups. And they epitomise the practice which you preach in terms of Hauora, in terms of bringing that into mahi and being productive, keeping their moods sane, ensuring that they prioritise themselves, their bodies, their whānau, and then their mahi. So really lucky to have the two of them on the podcast and the two of them to share the experiences. They come from international experiences as well and representing sport at the highest level, and they keep that high level of standards through their mahi and through their everyday life. So enjoy. Kia ora. Kia ora whānau, nau mai, hoki mai or haere mai. Kaupapa podcast or Kiwi staff. This is number 4, I think. It's number 4. So we've done a couple of these now, whānau, in a way of which we want to help uplift our whānau out there who are looking to get into the workforce, or if they're already in the workforce, helping to empower them to be better and in a better position than they were previously. So that's what this is all about, is highlighting some of our awesome kai-mahi that we have here, and then giving their experiences, their energies, their education, their knowledge, and then more importantly what they can offer to you for you to have a better outcome in your line of mahi. So on that, we're very fortunately to have a couple of kai-mahi that will join us today. And today's kaupapa is about Hauora into mahi. So how looking after your Hauora boosts your work life. And we'll get into a little bit of the nooks and crannies around what that looks like. But first and foremost, as always, we've got to make sure we introduce our kai-mahi here. So for those of you who don't know, we have Shannon and Noam, so I'll let them introduce themselves. There you go. Shannon, you go first.
Kia ora whānau. My name's Shannon, Shannon Tomori, part of the Mahi support team here at Kiwi Staff. My hobby, thing I love to do is play touch, which, have a lot of experience in my career, obviously playing at 2 World Cups alongside the Cook Islands, representing my dad's side, and then also playing for New Zealand, representing all my whānau.
Kia ora whānau, ko nei me karatuku ingoa. He uri tēnei no Waikato me Ngāti Tuwhare Toa. I am the mahi mentor here at Kiwi Staff, so my main whānau I look after are our rangatahi. Kia ora.
A little bit of just background about the both of you. So, Jens, any kids, bro?
Yeah, 2 of my own, and then I'm also the caregiver of my brothers and sisters, which is 4 of them. 3 brothers and 4 little brothers.
Yeah, awesome. Gnomes, you told us where you're from. What's your experiences before doing your working here?
So I've been living in Aussie I'd moved home 5 years ago, living in Aussie before that for 14 years. My last role, my last mahi was working at the ports in Sydney. So I was there for 5 years, driving the cranes, driving the tugs around. But done a lot of different mahi.
Nice. I think it was important that we highlighted that whānau just so that people out there understand that you've got experiences from other than just this mahi. It's a whole lifetime of things that you've done, time that you've given to other people, time that you've given to other kaupapa, and then bringing it all to Kiwi Staff so that you can share it with our hapuri and improve everyone else in their line of mahi as well. Before we kick into our pātai or our topics today, we just want to give a couple of huge mihis to a few organisations out there that have supported us in this Hauora space. The first one is our man Tony down at First Place Fitness. I've been fortunate enough to have a membership with them for a long time. And in that membership, we grew a bit of a friendship and a relationship, and then we come together to offer a bit of a deal to our whānau who was referred from Kiwi Staff. So we've probably had that deal in place for almost 10 years now. And, our whānau get a sharper rate that allows them to go to the gym. It gives them access to all the services that they've got down there, and they've got an awesome gym down at First Place Fitness. And, we've had some great success stories and some referrals that have gone down there and it changed their lives for the better. And they've been all ones that have been referred after they've come to see us for work as well. So we encourage that aspect of ensuring that they look after and they prioritise their hauora or their body or their fitness goals, so that they're able to give their best versions at Mahi as well. So awesome to Tony and the crew. Next one is CrossFit Kote. So Nicole and Kurt Kara, who is also Kurt being Gnome's brother, and Gnomes also plays a huge part in Kotahi as well. Wanted to give a huge mihi to them too, because to be honest with you, half the car park's full of Kiwi staff vehicles there most days. So, it's only fitting that we gave them a bit of a mihi, to be fair, because it means that our staff as well, our internal staff, and no doubt a lot of other staff that we work with, friends, whānau, partnerships, clients, and many more whānau out there have benefited from the environment that they've created and that they continue to create to uplift our whānau out there, especially with their hauora. So wanted to give a couple of huge mihis to both of them. And actually, on top of that, there's a couple others that I want to say, and they've been most recent ones, and that's Topspin. So our man Rubes down at Topspin, I've spent a few mornings down there, and a few of our crew jumped in there as well. Moving the body, huge for the hauora. We love to get down there before we get to work each and every day. And then BFT as well. I think there's a couple of us here that go there as well, and I've been going for a couple of years now and have enjoyed that. But, the huge mihi is just about moving our bodies and how important it is that we've been able to do that so that we can come to work and be as productive as we can, but more so have some energy, feel better, feel good, feel great actually, and enjoy our times. Okay, so kia ora. Our first segment that we're going to talk about today is kind of like, it's more the science behind things. I think it's important that we know why we do exercise and how important it is that exercise contributes towards more productivity in the line of mahi as well. We work and we deal with a lot of rangatahi, as all three of us know each and every day. We give them opportunities into mahi and we support them into mahi. And not all, but there have been some that will fall off every now and then for different reasons. But one of the highlighted reasons, especially that is associated with this kaupapa, is that some of our rangatahi probably, their body gets a bit mamai. They're not conditioned to the duties that they have to perform at mahi. Even the getting up in the morning, even the kai that they put in their body doesn't fuel them enough. And then what it does is that they tend to not last. All right, so moving your body increases blood flow to the brain, boosts oxygen supply, and helps your focus. Those are like small things that are really powerful to help you go to mahi each and every day. From your two perspective, and you can answer this, one can answer it or both of you can answer it, but why do you think physical movement before mahi is so powerful?
I can start. For me, I prefer to move in the morning when I can get up, but I think it's the benefit of moving your body is just, everything is just already ready to go when you get to mahi. You're not getting to mahi and trying to warm your tinana up or get moving. But also, just feeling good internally and externally. I think especially depending on your mahi, but if it's a bit of labouring, using your tinana a bit, I think getting in the gym or doing something before you get to mahi to help get the blood flowing and get the endorphins going.
Yeah. I fully back. I think just in terms of myself, movement is and exercise is probably the fastest way to reset yourself. So no matter where, whatever you're heading into, I think having an exercise or training before is going to make your mind clear, no matter where you're heading in terms of mahi, training, back to your whānau, all of it.
We all think it's a proven fact that when you exercise before you go to work, it makes you feel good, regardless of how hard the exercise was. It feels hard during it feels tough, it feels, you battle a little bit, but as soon as it finishes, you tend to have that moment of relief and then that moment of glory, right? And that moment of glory, I think, is the part that people don't necessarily understand until they've got into it. And then when they find that moment of glory, they have a shower, have a bit of a kai, and then it almost like it sets you up for the day after that. Correct me?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
So, you know, like all three of us here, we're prime examples of those individuals who like to have a bit of an exercise before they come to Mahi each and every day, because it gets us right, makes us feel good about ourselves. And in those glory moments, like I mentioned before, they kick into effect, and that's when we come into work. The next question I'd like to ask you guys is, in terms of exercise, so, yep, we've made it very clear that if you exercise in the morning, it does get the blood flowing, you get those endorphins. However, if you do like weight training especially, or even running actually can be quite taxing on the body. What about feeling sore after the fact as well? What are some things that can mentally prepare us that we might get sore after exercise, and then we've got to go along and go to work as well and tax the body even further?
What are some things that
can help us get over that?
Obviously, just refueling the body again.
What does refueling look like to you, Gnomes? Because you're a pretty clean eater.
Yeah, just good kai, something. Something is better than nothing, but I don't want to get too much into it, but just water, some electrolytes if you can, but just eating a good kai before you start finishing your workout, protein, carbs, all that good stuff.
Because for our, I'm going to tell you, Gnomes, and I'll give you this question here. I've got one for you in a 6 chance, but Gnomes, like you do CrossFit, and that is super taxing on the body. Now, I could imagine that after doing, as many squats and lifting as you guys have to do, and then you've got half an hour to shower, reset, then go to work, and potentially if you're a concreter, what would someone who sit there go, I don't know if I should put my body through that before I've got to go and then do exercise or labour-intensive exercise as well, that I get paid to do when I don't necessarily get paid to do that CrossFit hip. Now, we've already talked about the science behind this, right? It moves the blood around your body. But I think maybe give some context behind the conditioning aspect.
Yeah. So, especially for physical demanding mahi, I think CrossFit is, or any kind of movement, but CrossFit in particular, help condition your body into anything.
So what you're saying is that, even though it is tough and taxing on the body, in actual fact, it's going to benefit you because your body will get conditioned and resilient to that type of...
That's the word, resilient, yeah.
To that workflow and that work. It'll increase your work ethic because you're used to working at that intensity, that hard, and then when you go and do your everyday job, it's almost like your body's conditioned to it. Yeah. Shans, good kai is like putting good fuel in the waka when you're driving it around, okay? So you're a pretty slim fella, to be fair, and I've seen some of your habits around the tari, around your eating. But what else apart from eating would you say is something that could benefit, our rangatahi, especially if they are preparing to go into work off the back of trying to do exercise in the morning, and then going into a heavily intensive taxing job? What other things could help them restore the body?
I think, there's a lot, but also just having time to yourself, making sure you take the time to relax, making sure you're getting the right sleep in that as well. I have to be real honest in that I'm not the best with my food, my eating and that, but then my eating, I probably try and make myself work harder to burn that much off. So, definitely a work on for me in terms of my eating, but I think I put enough in on the other side in terms of exercise, looking after myself, getting enough rest, to be fit to go.
So your mindset is a deficit. So you'd rather, I guess, eat what you want but work harder. So you're in a constant deficit. Okay, cool. So that gives us some balance now. All right. So we're not here to say that our whānau should just be eating as clean as possible. However, a good clean kai does help you, but it's about a balance. And if you want to, eat a little bit on the naughty side, then you've got to ensure that you're balancing that up with the right amount of exercise or just the right amount of work to put into your body to ensure that you offset a little bit of that. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, so that we just got to make sure, whānau, we're not here to talk about getting fit. We're not here to talk about, essentially getting your body in good shape. We just want to make sure that people understand that exercise contributes towards good workflow, Yeah. And being able to go to work and put in a good amount of effort. So, next question, segueing into that, is about productivity. So, it has been a proven fact from our clients, and we get this information fed to us consistently, is that, some of our whānau can turn up to mahi, not just in the physical roles. In fact, it's probably more highlighted in the non-physical roles, like our admin roles, our education and finance roles, that some whānau can turn up a little bit lethargic. They can turn up with not so much energy, and we do highlight and probably note take that a lot of them it's because they don't prioritise their hauora, right? Okay, so for those whānau out there who maybe it's not about a physical aspect towards getting conditioned for mahi, can any of you talk to us about, or talk to the whānau out there, and me as well, about why exercising can help towards just the mind as well?
Yeah, I think that's probably just as big as exercise being able to help your body, your mind, just being able to, like Shan said before, reset the mind from whatever happened the day before or whatever you're going through. To be able to just, start again kind of thing, or just in that moment when you are exercising, you a little bit of a switch off, and then that feel good again. I definitely, the exercise is a big thing for me personally, mentally as well. Yeah. I think not just the actual exercise, just being in that environment, the people that you're around, the environment, and then obviously the feel good moments afterwards. Yeah, definitely.
With no names said, have you guys got any examples of someone that you've supported in mahi and you've encouraged them to get into exercise, which in then return has turned into a more positive outcome?
Yeah. There's actually one young fella at the moment. He started working. He could feel that his body wasn't up for it. It was a little bit big, so he knew that he wanted to lose some weight before he went back into Mahi. That became his priority. So he's now working on that first, and going good, loving it, loving the new journey. He's eating, completely changed his diet and that, going to the gym every day, and yeah, we're hoping that soon he'll be able to get back into Mahi and feel better.
Nice.
I'm on the same pathway. I have someone similar who was, which this has been affecting him at work. And he said he's wanting to kind of look more after his health. So we've created a program where we can slowly start getting into exercising. Once that's kind of set, then we'll be looking into eating well after, but it's only going to be small steps it's totally up to them.
And that's key, right? It's not necessarily about it happening tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's about a slow progression. And I think that's something that, the Mahi sport team do really well, in my opinion, is ensure that it's at the pace of the individual. There's no pre-identified time frame to get to the end goal or end result. And in fact, that end result might not even be in sight. It could be an ever-evolving one. One of the other big things that we haven't highlighted yet, it's a proven fact that our whānau who start to get into better hauora habits, so exercise, kai, rest, which in return turns into restoration, we find also have less or fewer sick days. All right, so they're not necessarily putting their body through so much strain anymore because they're not conditioned to it, and the immune system grows, and then in return they seem to be a lot more energetic, and they hang around in those days where it's normally quite tougher to handle, right? and they last a lot longer. Have you guys got any examples of anyone that you know of that you've supported that's been a true reflection of, based on talking to them about their hauora, and then in return you've realised that their reliability's increased?
I think what we haven't highlighted yet is a big thing, kind of comes under rest, I guess, but sleep is also a big thing. It comes with hauora. And, you know, a lot of our rangatahi are gamers, they're up all night. Sleep is not a priority, but then, you know, as we know, it catches up on you, and then they start to feel sick or tired, and, you know, so I think for me, trying to get them out of that habit of going to bed at 2 a.m, being on the game all night, and then having to get up for mahi the next day, that's an ongoing battle, but yeah, it's definitely something I'm working on with a few of them.
And I work with a lot, especially with a meatworks company where they're starting 5:30 in the morning, which a lot of them are young and they don't actually realise how much the sleep will help them throughout the day. So, and it's more so in the mindset of, I'll just do it, I'll stay up late and just try to get through it the next day, which in the end, by the science behind it is, in the end, you're going to sometime crash. You know, you might not know when it is, and then you're kind of looking back at yourself going, oh, no, I just stayed up late. That shouldn't be affecting my, you know, my fatigueness and stuff like that. So I think making sure they actually realise how much sleep actually helps throughout the day.
Oh, 100%. I think furthermore to sleep is things like your mood swings throughout the day as well. It's also a huge contributing factor to what you eat. We've found that people want to spike with energy drinks, want to spike with sugar, want to spike with fatty foods because they don't feel up to it and they feel like that's going to give them the energy that they need to kick on in the day. We're all guilty of that. Don't get us wrong. I've done it plenty of times, and I know I've seen plenty of energy drinks getting drunk around this office and this as well. But you're too right. I think that's a key one. But like I said at the start of that little spiel, was the mood swings are huge. And it's something, once again, that a bit of information that we've been getting fed back to us from our clients is that, especially in those afternoons, is that some of our whānau start to dip into those moments where they start getting tired, and then it starts affecting their mood, which then in return affects the way that they communicate with the rest of their team on site, and then that can lead to obviously the confrontations, disagreements, the continuous issues that arise, and then you guys are the ones that are out there trying to diffuse the situations. Hey, cool. Awesome, that's great insight. If we just had to put it into like an easy routine that our whānau could pick up and it could change them instantly, what are some little micro habits that you think you could give, some gems that you could give them about what their morning could wake up, say if they started work at 8 o'clock in the morning, finished at 4, so that's an 8-hour day, it's a good day. And what could they do to make sure that they were to, you know, do it as productive as they possibly could?
I think preparation is key when it comes to kai, especially. You know, a typical morning could be waking up, if you start at 8, waking up at 6, going to the gym, walking, any kind of movement. Your kai's already prepared for the day because you did it the night before. Take your breakfast, go to mahi, your lunch and all that. Come home, play with your kids. You know, you've got the afternoon because you've already done your exercise in the morning, and then get ready again for another day.
That's a great point. You mentioned that, Action Homes, is that having exercise in the morning sets you up for the day, productive as you can through the day, but also it frees up your evening.
Yeah.
So that you can use it for either further exercise, if that's what you're about, or to your whānau, or to a hobby, or to a sports team, or, you know, it could just even be rest. Before you answer, Shans, I'm going to get you can answer the same question. I just want to show some context behind you answering this, because you've got 6 dependents at home that you're looking after. So not only do you have to have a routine that fits yourself and your ability to be productive, but also you've got to manage other people within your care. So that's a busy part in itself, and no doubt out there there's plenty of whānau who are in the same situation, mothers, fathers, caregivers who are going, okay, that's easier to say if I'm single or if I'm young and I don't have any other responsibilities, but what happens if I've got a family that now I have to put that in, I have to add them into the context as well about what's happening. How do you manage?
Yeah, tough one there. I guess having a big family, they're my main priority. So no matter what, they always come first. So I'll make sure I give them enough time. Even if I'm fatigued or anything, I'll try and still make sure I give them that time. I'm pretty big though, like it's quite small, but just those little things, such as if your physical well-being's out, then your stress levels, and that's going to be. And then if your stress levels in that or your values in that are going to be, not right, the way you're giving it to your whānau. So I think also a lot of, a few habits are kind of creating it yourself at work, such as, I don't know, it might be if you've got meetings scheduled, if it's on a Zoom or anything, going for a walk while we're doing it or while we're standing up, having those sort of, taking the time during your break to go for a walk to kind of get away from your work, to reset, coming back, then you're more fresh. I believe those little things help myself to make myself feel better in the afternoon, going home to the whānau, whereas if my work life's happy, I know everything else is going to be happy as well. Same vice versa, if my whānau are happy, happy wife, happy life.
Absolutely. I think you're a little bit modest in saying all of it too, because I think the other part that you do really well, which is in line with myself, and I know Naomi says it with her niece and her nephew as well, is that we involve them in the sporting lives that we create, so, or the exercise that we do as well, So, my kids are getting older now, and they can get up early in the morning and come for a run around the block with me, or walk the dog with me, or when we're doing our Hauora in the evening, going to the park and stuff like that, to be able, so they can be a part of it as well. It's not as though I'm taking myself away from them to look after myself without. And which is taking away some time from them. We're adding them into it. But not only that, is we're showing them what it's like to do that as well, because at some part of their lives, they're going to come into the world of mahi as well. And it's about showing them good routines. It's about showing them the way of life that's going to be as productive as it has been for us as well. So I think that is one of the biggest parts. And it's really important that we mention that, because we've got plenty of whānau who have so many variables to the reason why they can't commit to good hauora in their world of mahi. And some of the things that we consistently hear is, I'm too busy, which, in my opinion, everyone's busy, but it's what your busy time is dedicated to.
Prioritising.
Yeah, or prioritising, 100%. And the other part is, I've got kids to worry about, or the kids are too busy, and it's like, okay, once again, prioritising them or adding them into that value of hauora as well, eating right, sleeping right, exercise, which in return creates productivity for them as well. So the same values that you can do for your everyday mahi to get productive is the same values that you can add to your tamariki for them to be productive at kura, or within their sports team or within their community, whatever they want to do. I think that's really, really important. So I wanted to highlight that, because I think that's something that we don't really talk about enough of, but it's actually quite of a superhero power, in my opinion, to be able to manage all of those different hats, which is special, which is cool. But yeah, that's pretty much us, whānau. We wanted to, like I said before, just have a quick yarn with the crew here who know a lot about this type of about what hauora can do for mahi for a lot of our whānau, because of the way they live their lives. I think that's a massive one. We could be educators, we could be specialists in the space, all we like, but if you don't practice what you preach, your words can feel a bit empty. I think I was really wanted to bring the both of yous on here, because you that's, I guess, epitomises what it's like to be productive in work, and both your lives are busy, but also both of your jobs are very busy, and how to balance that and keep that sane is, like I said before, a real superhero. Yeah, well done to the both of you for what you do for your mahi and also your whānau. But any last words?
No, I think just, the famous saying, I'll start on Monday. Monday is just another day. I think the hardest thing is just starting. Even if you have to start over and over and over again, just keep starting.
Yeah, and I think you know what it feels like when you haven't started, so just push yourself to, when you start exercising that, see how that feels. If it's not you, then can't wait.
Try something else.
Choice team, appreciate you fellas. That's us. Cheers.